Hi everybody, Martin here from TTC Business Driver and Licence Bureau, and I'm out again today with Chumley the Wonder Dog on one of our walks. Now, while I'm out there today, it's got me thinking it's Chumley's birthday soon, and wouldn't it be nice to take him somewhere really expensive? So you know what, I've decided to take him here. Yeah, that's right, a petrol station. Who needs fancy treats? Let's face it, what says I love you more these days than a gallon of diesel? Now, if like me, you're struggling to pay for the fuel bills at the moment, then what you need to do is come back with me to my office where we're going to look at our top 10 ways for saving money on fuel.
I'm gonna hit the road to see what I can see.
Okay, so now we're back in the office. Let's have a look at how we can save money on fuel and drive more efficiently with our top 10 tips for fuel saving. Firstly, slow down. Don't be in such a rush to get to places. A heavy foot will often mean all you're doing is rushing to a petrol station earlier than you intended. As an example, the difference between driving at 60 miles per hour and 70 miles per hour could be as much as a 20% saving. Now, unless your surname is Hamilton or Verstappen or Ricardo, driving faster will not get you there any quicker. All it's likely to do is make you rush to the next place where you're going to have to stop. Now, speaking of stopping, UK rush hour drivers spend more than 28 hours every year in stationary traffic. And if you're based in London, that figure rises dramatically to over 74 hours. It's fairly obvious that you wouldn't let your car idle on your driveway for that amount of time. So if possible, you shouldn't do it in traffic either. Now, many modern cars are fitted with intelligent start-stop systems, cutting the engine off when the car is stationary and then allowing the engine to start again when either the clutch is pressed or the brake is released, allowing it to pull away as normal. Now, contrary to popular opinion, the start-stop system does save fuel, as it will usually only kick in when the car is warm. So generally, minimum engine effort is required to restart the engine. As well as decreasing car fuel consumption, an automatic start-start system also helps to reduce emissions in busy areas, meaning both your finances and the environment see a benefit. In at number 9, lose weight. No, we don't mean you personally, although if that's what you want to do, then you go for it. What we mean is get rid of all that weight that you're carrying around. That is all the stuff that fills the boot and the back seat of your vehicle that you don't need to be taking with you. So lose the golf clubs, the anvil, the paving slabs, and anything else that you're taking on that trip that you just won't need. Anything other than you and your passengers is probably useless stuff that's doing nothing more than weighing the vehicle down and using more fuel. In addition to this, if you are carrying a roof box and not going camping, then it's unnecessary drag. And again, realistically, you're probably better off taking it off for the time being. To give you some idea of this, according to the Energy Saving Trust, an empty roof rack adds 16% drag when driving at 75 miles an hour. The same roof box has drag of 39% at the same speed, making your vehicle much less fuel efficient. So as we say, if you don't need them, take them off. In at number 8, tyre pressure. Now, tyres typically lose air naturally at a rate of around 2 psi every month. Checking your tyre pressures regularly can help preserve your fuel for as long as you can. Ensuring the air in your tyres is topped up and not only prolongs the life of your tread, but also improves fuel efficiency. If your tyres are even slightly distorted due to incorrect tyre pressure, you'll be using more fuel to keep your car running. This is because of the added friction whilst driving that comes from a misshapen tyre and a decrease in less rolling resistance. As such, if you put too much air in the tyre, it will cause more stress on the centre of the tyre. Conversely, if you underinflate your tyre, it will put more air on the sidewalls. Both of these are no good, so get your tyre pressures in line with the vehicle's recommendations and you could improve fuel efficiency by as much as 5%. Michelin reported back in 2015 that the UK's motorists wasted £250 million per year on fuel driving around on the wrong tyre pressures. So this is a major thing to get right. Number 7, turn off your aircon. Now, usually unless it's really cold or uncomfortably warm in the car, leave the aircon turned off. It's dead easy to drive along not realizing it's even on most of the time, but using it can put a strain on the engine and burn more fuel, especially at low speeds. The same goes for heated windscreens, demisters, and any other electrical appliances. In simple terms, aircon uses more fuel because it draws a lot of energy from the battery. So the engine has to work that little bit harder to drive the alternator and power the overall charging system. A harder working engine always uses more fuel. So if you want to keep your fuel consumption good, switch off your aircon for only the hottest days and you're on a right step forward. Doing this can see differences as much as 20% fuel consumption. Number 6, change up early. Change up to a higher gear as soon as possible without making the engine labour or vibrate. Now, diesels, because of their wider torque band, can change up a gear when revs reach around 1,500 to 2,000 revs per minute. For most petrol cars, changing up at around 2,000 to 2,500 revs per minute will be about right. And don't be afraid to come off the accelerator and use gravity to take you down the hill. Most modern cars' engine management systems don't use any fuel when you're in gear and you haven't got your foot on the accelerator. In at number 5, maintain your vehicle. Modern cars are exceptionally complex and are now all electronically controlled by at least one engine control unit, or ECU as it's known. Now, this central brain relies on a network of sensors to monitor the performance of the vehicle and will automatically adjust the amount of fuel that is injected into the engine based on a huge number of variables, from the engine temperature and air temperature outside of the car, even down to your style of driving. With such complicated systems running your car, it's no surprise to realize that there are a lot of individual elements that can go wrong. And the only way you'll know is to ensure your car is regularly serviced by a garage with the correct diagnostic equipment. During any service, consumables, filters, fluids, etc. will be swapped or changed, again increasing engine efficiency. It might be slightly costly to have your car serviced, but the ongoing fuel savings could be significant. In at number 4, use the cruise. No, sorry, Jane, not that type of cruise. Clear off. We're talking about cruise control. Using this feature can save fuel as it's way more accurate at working out how much fuel needs to go into the engine than your foot, which may keep lifting and applying on the accelerator. Done properly, cruise control has been shown to improve fuel efficiency by over 7%, but do bear in mind that this is in good weather, a good weather feature only, and should not be used in the rain or when the road is slippy, and all the best benefits come from it when you're on a constant speed on a relatively flat surface. In at number 3, speed up slowly. Now, very closely linked to number 10, slow down, this one realistically comes from not rushing to get up to speed in the first place. The harder you accelerate, the more fuel you'll use. In the city, you can use less fuel by easing onto the accelerator pedal gently. To be as fuel efficient as possible, try taking around 5 seconds to accelerate your vehicle up to around 12 miles per hour from a stop. Or imagine an open cup of coffee on the dashboard and you don't want to spill it. In at number 2, shop around. Whilst fuel prices are heading on an upward trajectory, there is no standard price that any garage is charging. So it may be worth shopping around to see who in your local area has the cheapest. And when you are filling up, it may be worth not filling right up to the top, as you don't need to be carrying around extra weight in your vehicle in the shape of fuel. If you don't need it, then don't fill it up. So maybe adopt that kind of splash and dash method rather than that weekly fill up. And finally, at number 1, plan your route. Not zigzagging backwards and forwards if you have a lot of calls to make or looking to avoid busy roads where you may be stationary will pay dividends for you. If you're running a motor fleet, we at TTC have an amazing route optimization tool to help you do just that. So call the number on screen now if you wish to discuss that with us more. So that's it for today. I'd like to thank you for taking part. Other than that, we hope that all these tips you find of use, and we wish you all the very best in your quest to save money on your fuel.
What do you mean you don't want to go to a petrol station for your birthday?